troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Dude, how long you been racing? You've been racing 300 fucking years, you stupid fuck.
Madsen is howling on James McFadden.
It's basically like rebuilding a car basically after the race, where you take all the injectors out, clean all the pistons, everything like that, take the exhaust pipes off, make sure nothing's scorched, everything like that.
Bang, and we are back. Episode 13. This is the High Limit International Recap. What is it? What's today? New Year's Day. So Wednesday, 1st of Jan at 12:30. I was hoping to have this out before the lads got in the trucks and drove down, but I've seen some of those haulers already gone down at like 9:30.
Yeah, I've seen Buzzy and Coils heading down the road.
Yeah, okay, yep. Yeah, so co-host, the CEO of MATLAB, Travis Armstrong, wingless sprint extraordinaire. He's been good enough to come in here, and he's got someone on working on his car downstairs while we quickly knock this out. Yeah, we're just going to crack in and talk all things that have happened since effectively Boxing Day. I put out a Boxing Day episode, and in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have. It's pretty shit. I did it at the kitchen table while the kids were in bed, and yeah, I just wanted to get something out, but it was rushed and no good, so apologies, but we're going to recap all that stuff now. We're going to get straight into it, get our backside, trackside, thanks to BKB Plumbing and Gas. Brodie and Kelly again helped me out. They're about to get their first invoice, which is going to really help me out. So just have a quick sponsor read here, and then we'll gather our thoughts and get stuck in. BKB Plumbing and Gas. For all your plumbing needs in the Pilbara, contact Brodie and his dedicated team. From domestic water softeners to large-scale commercial projects, BKB Plumbing and Gas, they've got you covered. Yeah, so... Yeah, Trav, did you go Boxing Day and all 3 nights of the High Limit?
Yeah, sure did.
Mate, it's been pretty sick. We spoke just quickly before. I was that pumped up still yesterday. I started looking at new trailers that I don't need. I started I wasn't that keen to race Bunbury, and now I'm chomping at the bit. Obviously, watch what happens tonight, and that'll dictate whether or not I go down. I didn't do anything on the car today. I was sort of building a new bunk bed for the kids instead of doing what I should have been doing. But I guess Boxing Day night, mate, anything stick out for you there that you want to sort of cover?
Rowie not going to scales?
Yes, yeah. Cost himself $3,500. I reckon if he was off the front row instead of starting 6th or 7th, wherever he was, he would have been right in there with a shot with Cody Nash and Andriotti. But hard lesson to learn, but would have thought he'd already learnt that.
Yeah, well, you'd think so. Someone's been racing as long as him, but must have had a big Christmas day and was under the weather.
So that was a pretty decent night. I can't even remember who won the feature race for the sprint cars.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that the other day, trying to work out who won, and had a look, and Dane won.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a good night, but yeah, there's nothing really that sticks out to me. Again, I sort of covered it, and I reckon we should just get stuck straight into this High Limit because, fuck, what an event. What an event. My opening thing here for my notes was the Brant Speed Week. Never heard of her. Allegedly there was some events run over east. I'm unaware of them. Too caught up in the big dog event over here, mate. What a crazy event. What a crazy week. Huge crowds. Yeah, just brought back a really big vibe, and it made me not fall in love more but just a renewed enthusiasm for the sport and what we're going to see going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I've been loving reading all the shit on Facebook about the Eastern Staters saying that High Limit's no good. It should be over there, and there's no one at it. But the people that are whinging about it obviously weren't there because it was. I've never seen the Motorplex so busy. Never seen the pits so full. The line to buy a Kyle Larson t-shirt on the first night was crazy. I mean, they have 3 Americans, I think, at the Brant Speed Week, and I don't think anyone's probably really heard of them, to be honest. But compared to the Americans we had here, they're head and shoulders above any of their speed weeks over there.
Well, Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet would be the top 3 in the world. David Gravel's probably number 1 or 2 or 3. argue that how you want, but they were here. And the difference is I never heard one WA person whinge about their speed week.
Yeah.
Like that just tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. If they're saying your event should be here and us not saying anything about theirs, it's like, well, we know what the product that we have here is. And when you hear Kyle Larson talk about like you guys don't know how lucky you are, this is the best run facility, like not the track or anything. He's just talking about how well Gavin and the team run a show. Like the things they put in place, how quickly it runs, the fan engagement. Like and one thing that I kept hearing all of them talk about is how good the pits are and how accessible they are. Like awesome, hey?
Yeah, well, we sort of take that for granted, especially because, you know, the English race at the country a fair bit and you don't realise how good it is having power and grass to, you know, work on. Then you get down to the country tracks and you're working in the dust and you got your Jenny fired up in the background and, yeah, definitely take for granted how good it really is at the Motorplex.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I'm not sure any of the teams like would have done more merch in like a single night ever. Like everyone had massive lines for their merch and the shirts everywhere. Like you see a fair few like Callum Williamson shirts around, but it seemed like nearly half the crowd had a Speedway shirt on, like someone's merchandise shirt. Like obviously Kyle Larson and the JPM shirts were dominant, and yeah, he's Kyle Larson, so you can imagine. But I was seeing shirts around everywhere. Like it was so awesome, and hopefully a lot of new eyeballs and a lot of new people got down and got to buy shirts. And when I started doing some figures potentially about what some people were doing on the teams, you know, there could have been teams making 50, 60 grand in merchandise.
Yeah, well, just about every second person had a Kyle Larson shirt, and I'm pretty sure they had to restock every night. I think Steve had to go print more after each night, which is crazy. They pretty much over doubled what they thought they were going to sell, which is, I'm not sure what sort of deal they had with Kyle, who takes merch on that, but I'm pretty sure Pryde would have done pretty well out of it.
Yeah, interviewed him. I'll play it sort of halfway through this, and you'll hear what he said. But effectively, they had an order that they thought could take them through 3 nights, sold out. They got that same amount again for the second night, sold that out, and then they got both of those orders combined and sold out.
Yeah, that's crazy. I seen on the shop Kyle Larson Instagram actually that merch is on Kyle Larson's shop now. I don't know if it's through Steve or if he's getting it his own printed over there, but I'm sure he'll probably sell out on there as well. Yeah,
it was wicked. Like there was like an Australian tour one. It looked like Great Australian Bite, and there was like a koala hanging on. Like all that stuff was so well done. And yeah, I've got a note to cover that JPM stuff like comprehensively later because of how well it was done. But we'll move straight into this stat that I looked up, and it's called the Upfield Design Stat of the Week. I've got to read here for Dion. He did really good. He was there on the first night, had to nick off for a wedding. His competition went off too. It was one of the Montes, and they had something like 25 entries.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so have a quick listen to this, and we'll crack in. Upfield Designs. Based in Albany, Western Australia, they specialise in custom helmet painting that brings your unique vision to life. Whether you race speedway, go-karts, motocross or anything in between, Upfield Design has you covered. Check out their Instagram, Facebook and their website. Plus, you can win your very own helmet and custom paint job valued at $3,500. Every $25 spent on apparel is an entry. Visit upfielddesign.com.au for your chance to win. All work area listeners get 15% off all apparel. Use the discount code TheWorkArea at checkout to claim. Yeah, so there it is. He got plenty of love as well for the helmet and stuff. Like that Sprint Car Hub shared some posts, and like the Dane Kingshot helmet. That's my new favourite. My old favourite was Buddha Payet's helmet. I think that one's the sickest one. And then I think Dane's definitely takes the cake now, but. Yeah, the stat of the week, it's all pretty rough figures based on what like the Motorplex released in terms of their figures and their numbers. And I didn't go into like my thoughts aren't like the Motorplex is ripping off people or making any money or anything like that. That's the opposite of what I think. I think with how well it's gone, what I want to do is highlight how viable the sport is and how much like revenue the sport can bring to sponsors. And so if you hear this, I don't want you to think that the Motorplex made money. I'm sure they did. And if you were at the shows, they deserve to because that was awesome. But yeah, it seems like a pretty crazy night. So roughly the crowd over the 3 nights was about 28,000 all up. So I think it was like 8, 9 and 11. So I've gone to 28,000 just to sort of make sure the figures are under it so we know what we're talking about. The average ticket was $75 a night if you bought an individual night, or $60 a night effectively if you got a three-day pass. So off the $60 a night ticket, I've done the figures, so 28,000 in terms of total people coming at the cheapest ticket at $60 a night. That's 1.68 million in tickets.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah, so just in tickets alone at the $60 a night. So if every single person that attended, I'm assuming gold's more expensive or whatever, but the 3-day pass, that's the cheapest way to get into all 3 nights. So if everyone bought that, it's effectively 1.7 million in tickets. So for me, I then was like, I wonder what like the sort of the total spend would be, because obviously the food trucks are independent contractors, I'm assuming, that pay for a thing and all that. But in terms of like total money that could have potentially been brought in. So I did at $60 to get in a night, $30 for food and drink was probably a bit cheap as well.
Yeah,
like you get,
That's if you're eating once.
Yep, eating once and maybe 2 bowls of water. Then $45 for a shirt if you bought merch. And then so it's effectively $135 per person. That was not me. I spent way more than that every night. But if you do those figures, so the same 28,000 people, if they spent roughly $135 a night, that's 3.78 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they're all, for me, I didn't want to like overestimate anything. I wanted to underestimate everything. So effectively, 3.7 million, nearly 3.8, probably close to 4, if not over. But that's in 3 nights, 1 event. And then you do have these sooks on the East Coast, or other people saying that the Motorplex didn't deserve it. Like, I don't know what Warrnambool would do or whatever, but nearly $4 million in 3 nights. This is not to say, they're just someone's making all this money. Where I just think they deserve it. The show was awesome. The event was awesome, and sprint cars and speedway in Western Australia particularly is viable for sponsors and if the people. I'm just glad everyone who puts in the money. I'm glad that they got a return, because that's not always the case.
Yeah, exactly. And Motorplex are always putting that money back into evolving the facility as well and making everything better. Like the electronic flagging and all that stuff, they're always evolving and putting money back into the venue to make it better for everyone attending, which is good.
Yeah, well, they've even got the cameras. You never get to see those, but it's to make sure the chief stewards make the right decision. There's cameras on the light poles on the infield, so they can actually see. Like, that's total revenue, and they've got massive costs that they need to outlay. Fireworks, skydives. Oh my god, those skydives!
Did you see the flag get stuck in the fence?
I thought old mate was going to get stuck on the fence. I genuinely didn't even want to watch. It was like a train crash. I was like, he's toast here. I was sitting with Robbie Clark and Chris Clark. Shout out TPE Group. They obviously know a bit about skydiving. They're explaining like how he has to come back into the wind, but with all that weight, he's going to be like flying with the wind. So they were like, this isn't going to be good, particularly the fella with that flag. And it was. I thought that was whatever, but to watch that live, it was pretty wild. Those dudes are really clever with how they get it done, eh?
Yeah, I've seen them there a couple of times. I've been in the pitch, so I never really take much notice of it. But obviously, come in on the back straight where we were sitting, but they come in with some fucking pace. Like the way they pull it up as well, it looks like he's gonna eat shit, and then all of a sudden they just pull it right back and more or less walk along with it. It's fucking hectic.
Yeah, that like 10 metres before the ground, they're flying at like a 45-degree angle to the ground. You're like, he's just gonna shit mix his legs here, and then that was impressive.
I don't think that flag will be getting used again.
No, that thing got ripped on the fence. I was like, that might be stuck up there for a while. But they got it done pretty good. But all these things, fireworks, the skydivers. I'm not sure if you'd have to pay for that jet show.
What did you think of the drone show?
I didn't watch at all.
Yeah, you didn't miss much, to be honest.
Not my cup of tea. The jet and the drone, probably not for me.
Yeah, they've been doing that for as long as I can remember now.
Just not sort of mine. I'm sure, but people new to the sport who haven't seen it before probably were like, what is this thing? It looks like a rocket. Probably is a rocket. But, not exactly for me, that sort of stuff. But again, none of this is free. Like Gavin and the crew.
Something different as well.
Yep. Yeah, they got to pay track staff, all the staff in there. And, again, I don't want anyone to be thinking, fucking the Motorplex is ripping people off or whatever. It's not what I'm saying. This sport is legitimate. Sponsors can then sort
not
of
cheap.
Yeah, nothing's cheap, mate. Like, but yeah, mate. All right, enough of that shit, mate. Let's get stuck into it. Let's enter the work area. Thanks to RBS Project Solutions. RBS Project Solutions. RBS is based in the Pilbara and specialise in structural, mechanical, and piping projects. RBS is bolstered by strong field supervision and leadership, ensuring successful execution of projects across the mining and oil and gas sectors. Right. My first sort of feeling about the event, like the high limits we're just going to be stuck into, the 3 nights, we'll probably jump in between them and all that, but something that really added to the event was the Turn 1 crew. That Williamson crew with those air horns. Like, it's such a simple little thing, and it's probably 15 people, but it genuinely adds to the whole vibe of the event, hey?
Yeah, it gives a bit of theatre. I mean, I wouldn't probably enjoy sitting in turn 1 next to it, but it's definitely good for the sport, and Callum's, definitely the most popular guy we got over here, and probably in the country, the amount of the line to get his merch, and, without all the Kyle Larson merch, I think all you'd see is Callum Williamson merch.
Yeah, well, yeah, Callum is generally the Kyle Larson sort of the event, hey, like that line. Like, I've wanted one of his shirts for a while, and even on like a normal night, I get there and I'm like, I'm not lining up in that. Like, and it's probably 15 people, but I'm like, it's too much, but it's just packed. There's people, and there's people at his thing nearly, like, unless he's racing, there's a line at his trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Yeah.
They're another one, I'd imagine they sort of profit pretty well throughout the year on their merch because, the amount of people that wear it's crazy.
Yeah, it seems like they're clever and with like a sort of like a batch release. So it's not like one shirt covers you for the year, so you just get one and you're done because nothing new. They sort of seem to do one every 6 weeks. There's a new shirt, and then and they're all cool. Like, I got my young fella the Hot Wheels one. I think you did.
Same,
yeah, they're cool. Like, yeah, so I got one of them, and they release something new, and then you're like, oh, that's cool. I'll get that. And I'm sure with the crowd that he's got, and yeah, it's not like by chance. He's nice, a bloke. Everyone can relate to him. He gives everyone that comes to the car time, like, and then he G's up that crowd. He goes, the harder you yell, the harder I drive. And so they're like, whoa.
Yeah, he stops and speaks to everyone. Did you see when he was getting introduced to the crowd, he was giving it the get up and about.
Yeah, Sam Conser style he was. And then he revs it up, and it's cool too. Like, as he comes past, like, they probably wish him. I'm not sure if he could even hear that in the car, but he just sort of guesses.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he gets past and he revs it in the hot laps, and then they go nuts.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool, and it added to it. And I thought, not like you would never know if it wasn't there, but you know when it is there, and you're like, fuck yeah, like, this is cool. And then they started calling them the Plex Posse on the coverage, the Flow Racing coverage. They call them the Plex Posse now.
Yeah, you always know when he's out there, even if you're not really paying attention. You just start to hear the air horns and you look over, Callum's out for hot laps or something. Yep. Like, you always know when he's on track.
Yeah, genuinely, in the pits, like, you could be busy, and like, I don't know that's going on. And then I hear that, and then I'm like, oh, like, the heat race is wrong, like, because Callum's coming out, he's in the first heat, like, oh, let's go watch.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you're doing, if you're busy, when those guys get those horns going, you know what's going on the track, eh?
Yeah.
And
they actually do it for a few other sort of drivers as well, like WA guys, especially over the weekend with it, USA versus WA. I know they were giving Jacko a few toots as well when he was going all right, and they helped Dane out a bit, but they're loud and proud for Callum.
Even when like Buddha Payet is out there, he's sort of like got in behind it, eh?
Because he tried stealing the thunder.
Yeah. He literally said it. He's like, if I could get some of those air horns, like, that'd be awesome. And then the other thing, like, it's just Jason Pryde Motorsports, mate. I just think they knocked it out of the park. I spoke about it a little bit, but when I did speak to Jason, I said it's almost a lose-lose win situation for them. Like, they lose if Kyle just doesn't do good. It's not Kyle, it's them. Like, he could have just been jet lagged. Could have been this end of the year. Fuck, I'm just gonna come in, go through the motions, get this race done, do my shit. Like, I don't care how I drive, whatever. He like that might have been his mentality, and then he just fucks off and did, like, say he comes in 7th. Yeah. Well, everyone's going to go, well, it's JPM shit. Yeah. Like, it's their staff, it's their equipment, it's and they would know that going in. So they're taking a massive risk getting him in, because the only win is if he wins.
Yeah.
Luckily, he fucking did.
And merch sales.
Yeah, merch sales is good, but yeah, like, it would have reflected on them if he was like fourth, everyone would just go like, their equipment's not that great. It's not the car, not the right car. They don't know what they're doing. But yeah, and they would know that. So it's such a risk, and they sacked up and did it, and then you'll hear later. I speak with Jason, just like that. Like the divide, I don't know what you call it. Like it's like the VIP.
They have at airports.
yeah, that shit. But like that's branded, and he said it's like a Trans Am sort of V8 supercar thing that he's seen, and they all of that stuff is just for this.
Yeah.
All the equipment, all the different sets of merch. These, if you watch it on the YouTube channel, we got the Kyle Larson, diecast. Is that what they'd be called? Yeah. So it's who is it?
Authentic Collectibles.
Yeah, Authentic Collectibles. So we got 291 of 300. I know they're doing a second batch, but whatever. It looks good for me. They're sick. Like when they got released, I was like, I literally have to get one. I never think that. I'm not a merch guy. I never would buy anything. Like I bought my first like Speedway shirt of a driver ever this weekend. Like, and it was Rico because he wasn't there, and I didn't want to roll around with someone's stuff and look weird.
Just didn't get it signed.
Yeah, idiot, hey. But, yeah, I still can't believe I didn't get it signed. I should have got it signed. Didn't. But, I think, JPM, added to the event, you almost wouldn't have known what you miss out on if Kyle didn't come.
Yeah. But even though, Carson and Rico weren't there, I don't think it took too much away from the theatre of, how often are you going to get Kyle Larson racing in your backyard? Like, he's the best there is.
Yeah.
And he was in Australia for only 3 days, but I just still can't believe the lineup they had for merch and signatures and the rest of it was crazy. Yeah, well,
it sounds like they effectively sold 4 times more than what they want. And when I went in there, Jason's wife Chanel or partner Chanel, she was in there. She was working all night. Yeah. She didn't watch races. She was watching them on the big screen up the top of the silver gate there. Yeah. That's what she was watching the races on. She couldn't leave. There was a line. So that's 3 nights in a row. And we spoke, I was pretty cooked afterwards, same as what you said you were. And I didn't. I just sat there, had a few beers, watched the races. But she was grinding away, and there was a fair bit of a team in there with her. I just don't know who they were, but everyone. It was a full team effort, and I did. And the show photo I'm going to throw on Spotify will be the JPM team photo. They got all of them in there, and there's 15, and all of them would have worked their asses off to get this done. And it's just a wicked event. Stoked that Kyle came. I'm actually not like I was going for him or anything, but I think for the sport, for the spectacle, him winning was the best result for everyone.
Yeah, and then I don't know, it seems to happen every time he wins a high limit race, but you always see the people getting on there saying, "Oh, it's rigged." He's winning his own series, taking his own money, and even if it wasn't a high limit race, I'm sure he still would have come here and wiped the floor with everyone. He's just that good.
Yeah, well, he said, Pryde, he's wanted to come here for a few years, but his schedule just doesn't line up with it. He's a racer. It's I don't think it's about money, because look what he did just to get to this Tulsa shootout.
He was in Perth 48 hours ago, and now he's in Tulsa racing micros at the Tulsa shootout. Yeah,
we said he got back to the cast for a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours, then up to the airport. And I don't even know what that pays. If you win, I know he's racing 4 classes.
Yeah, I don't think it actually pays that much, to be honest.
Yeah, because he's just a racer.
Yeah.
He just loves winning. Yeah. So, shout out to them. And we organise a special little deal. I've heard a whisper that Jason might be keen on the Stark. So if he gets down to Empire Motorcycles, they're waiting for you, Jason. If you want to celebrate the high limit win and the great event you did, go buy yourself a Stark from Empire Motorcycles. Mention the podcast and they'll sort you out. And then... I guess the other sort of highlights of it in terms of the drives. First of all, I still can't figure out. I know they're using their brakes, but particularly J-Mac and Kyle, how they hugged the bottom was just fucked.
Yeah, you don't see anyone run the bottom like they do in your normal Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series cars, but that just proves that they race 80 to 100 times a year, and it showed on the weekend. Was it the weekend? I don't even know what day of the week it is. The last 3 days anyway.
Over the weekend, Monday night. And even I've been wondering, with how J-Mac drove the bottom. They search across the track all the time and they never lose time. So they the top might be the fastest, but they'll run the middle and not lose any ground. and then they'll run the bottom, and then they know where the other guys who are just running the top, they don't know what the rest of the track does, and somehow I found Kyle was obviously really good at it, and J-Mac was like exceptional at it as well. Like even in a heat race, they're running the bottom at the Motorplex in a heat race and keeping up with whoever they're racing with.
Yeah, you never see that happen.
They come so hard into the bottom, almost looks like they're going to do like a slider, but then they just pivot and stay on the bottom and drive out.
I heard after the first night they actually had to change the brakes on Larson's car because he said they were too good. So he must use a lot of brake. I don't know. So they went and got the brakes off Rico's spare car, which must be similar to what he runs in America because the difference between him and the first night, the next 2 nights, it was noticeable.
Yeah. So too strong. So like he must want to like feather it, and whatever they had on must be like more aggressive or whatever. But yeah, how they did it, and then I wonder if like racing is going to change a little bit here because I felt like it did even at high limit. There was heaps more drivers going to the bottom and driving like in that manner because they're probably like us going, what? I didn't know you could do that. Like I seen David Priolo put a thing, he fucking raced here 10 years and didn't know those lines existed. But it seemed to be a little bit, that's what the other drivers were doing. They were like, well, you obviously can run the bottom.
Even Callum was having a crack at the bottom here and there, and you never see the 3 on the bottom. He's normally tearing the fence down. Yeah,
so I do wonder if it will affect how people drive, like and affect like what they think, and maybe people start setting their cars up a little bit differently. So if they need to run the bottom, they can run the bottom.
Well, the track it definitely looked a bit different. Like the last 4 nights looked different to how it's normally ever been. You don't normally see 3 lines. It's normally just slick to the fence with a massive cushion where. I think, the last night the track was probably a bit fast for what they would have liked as well. I don't know if it had something to do with having formulas where they might have showed late models on the last night, so it wore the track out a bit more. But, yeah, the track was definitely faster than it has been prior to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder even maybe formula's on the last night because they thought it's going to be summer, hot. Yeah. The late mods will blow it off hard on the second night. Maybe we're going to be losing the track by the third night, and maybe we'll put that in. But I still think even on the last night, the big wingless should have been out there and putting on a show.
Yeah, well, normally it's wingless chewing up the program, but I don't know if you watched that late model feature, but
bit hectic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably the first late model feature I've watched, and from the front 10 cars to the back 10 cars, there's just day and night difference.
Yeah. Yeah, but those front 10, they can go. Hey?
Yeah, they're fucking good.
I went over there for the first time on that, and because obviously I'm always busy, and Craig Nylander sort of has been really good to me in terms of trying to introduce me to him and learn a little bit. And once you look at the cars, there's so many pieces involved, 5 sets of suspension or whatever it is, and the amount of adjustments on those things are just out of control. And so the guys winning are so across their equipment. Yeah. They must know all these intricacies and tiny little movements and different parts. And then you get a different part. How do you set that up? They must, particularly the Oldfields, Chalmers, Vosberg, and those guys know their shit.
Yeah, and some of them, at times, they do not look enjoyable to drive. If they get it wrong in a corner and then just push the whole way through the corner where the other guys, they're just on it and half the time up on 3 wheels. And, yeah, they've definitely, the front 10 cars definitely got their stuff still. I don't know what to do, but they've all got a lot newer stuff compared to the other guys, or they're just far more experience.
Yeah, who knows? But, that's what I was because I was thinking the formulas, and I just thought maybe they were worried about they were going to lose the track by the end of the third night, and
possibly,
and try and save it a little bit by having those guys on. Decent couple of races. Obviously Element, Taraccio. Element blew an engine, maybe did something.
Yeah, I actually haven't found out, to be honest. He did pull in. I'm not sure what exactly.
Yeah,
happened.
He pulled in early, but he was good. And Marshman, Newmarch. The big Tom Davies rolled around in 6th. I think, he'll get that car sorted soon. It's a new car for Tommy, and I'm sure he'll square that big girl away pretty soon. Mate, so obviously the guys that really dominate, obviously I think we've spoken about Kyle a fair bit. J-Mac running the bottom. He's I don't know how, but he looks calm. Like you obviously can't see his face or anything like that, but like, and what it is about his car, I don't know. But he just looks calm when he's out there. Nothing's like I don't know even why it looks like that, but fuck, he just cruises through, splits the middle. I put up a little post, mate. Behave yourself, mate.
Through the lap cars there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Piss
sure
off,
that's
mate.
the like the 4th race he's come second in. It's $100,000.
Yeah.
So,
Heartbreak, eh?
yeah, they
Yeah.
were pretty pissed off after. I was actually speaking to Buzzy with Chris, but he sort of said if you told him before the weekend that they were going to win both nights and run second, they would have took it. But to win both nights, then to run second, probably stung a bit.
Yeah, I wonder if it eased the blow a little bit that Kyle did get away pretty easily.
Yeah, they didn't lose on the last lap.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah, I remember like the one of those races, I was actually watching it, whatever flow race and whatever it was on, and he was winning to like the last lap, and then Holdenshill come from
nowhere.
nowhere and got him. But yeah, when I seen that live and then particularly at replay, I just think, piss off, mate. You can't do that. Like,
maybe win the next one because it's 110,000, not 100.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, J-Mac, get out of here with that sort of stuff, mate. The mugs are watching and you make us all feel bad. Yeah, J-Mac was solid. Callum Williamson, obviously, what a weekend for them boys, mate. Just, it would have been heaps of pressure on them and even Cricket Motorsports as well. Like, you know, they're like the two dominant drivers here. Like this is our week to test ourselves, a home track. Like, you know, there would have been a massive amount of pressure and they both performed. I think Dane would have been just as good, but he just got fucked on that little bingo board thing. Like, both 2 nights, Callum spun it and got put off pole.
Yeah.
And then 2 nights, Dane got put off like nearly the back.
Yeah.
Like, I just think if Dane starts up front, like look at the class of drivers. Like, yeah, if he just got to start up front a little bit more on the dashes, and then in one of the dashes on the first night, the steering box went. So he was just flying around. He kept on banging the walls, and I just thought the car was a bit off or something. But turns out the steering box had let go, and it was just hanging on for dear life. But yeah, Dane was awesome. Brad Sweet, just quiet. Probably seems like how he's won the championship this year. Just
he was consistently in the top 5. It wasn't overly. I don't know. You'd normally expect him to come and win, but he was just there or thereabouts. I don't know if they were just lacking something or not, but I mean, I'm sure they're still happy with how they ran. They still would have took home a decent amount of prize money over the few nights.
Yeah, because J-Mac would have took 50.
Yeah, it was 12.5 each prelim and then 25 the second
night. So 50 grand 3 nights, like standard.
You take it.
Half a year's wages.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would have been, if you told him before the event, but you could see it in his face. Like, he's a winner, mate.
Yeah.
Like, and he beat Kyle the first 2 nights, and then not the cream rises, but fuck, Kyle's just a freak.
Yeah, and he
performs.
Obviously, everyone says, he's come to a track he's never raced at and won, but it's Kyle Larson.
Yeah,
he had
that's what he does.
Yeah, Trevor Canales was his crew chief of the night, which is a guy that cruised for him on the 57 as well, and he was here with Rico last year, so he probably had a bit of a notebook on how it sort of races from when he was here with Rico, and them two together proved to be too good. Yeah,
but I think you can say that, but like it might be like Kyle's got even more an advantage. Like, he's raced 100 tracks. Like, genuinely could have raced 100 speedway tracks. So he can draw on all that experience. Whereas you could say, like, some of the guys would have raced on 2 tracks.
Yeah.
Bunbury and the Motorplex.
Yeah.
Like, so is that an advantage? I don't know. Like, because he can draw an experience of 100 tracks versus 2. And then he says, Vardo, New Mexico, he reckons that's really similar to the Motorplex. And he just raced a late model there. So he's like, oh, yeah, it's like Vardo, New Mexico. It's not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, crazy. Who else sort of caught your eye, mate? I'll go through the how it sort of ended up with the feature race on the last night. Obviously, Kyle Larson won. If you want to have a chat about him, I'll just stop. Like, James McFadden, phenomenal all night. Like, first, second, never really put a foot wrong. Chilling out with his kid. Like, I love how he took the kid up, and then Callum took the kid up, and
I noticed even in America and with the high limit stuff, James has always got Mav up there spinning the wheel for him.
Wicked, eh? And then I seen him do a shoey. It must have been apple juice.
Yeah, I've seen that video. Yeah.
Brad Sweet in 4th again, unassuming. Dane Kingshot in 5th, and like, I spoke to Dane on the first night, and he was flat. like he obviously, you're going to remember it back to us 3 nights prior, but he sent it in that last corner and knocked the wall and then ripped the front end out and crossed the line, dragging the chassis. But yeah, he was pretty flat, and I thought, how good are you going if you're flat that Brad Sweet beat you?
Yeah.
Like and no, it's speedway racing, so you never should beat anyone. But he was faster than Brad.
Yeah.
Chased him down, caught him, threw something in on the last lap, and if there's 5 more laps, he beats him. But for Dane, someone who effectively retired in 2019, I thought speedway was done. You know, and then now he's raced for Cricket Motorsports, and he's filthy. Brad Sweet got him. Like, you're going pretty good.
If you look at that top 5 on the Monday night, that's probably, the top 5 everyone would have put together on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the order they would have put it or not, but that's definitely the top 5 everyone would have had in their mind of who were going to be there at the end.
Yeah, Larson, McFadden, Williamson, Sweet, and Kingshot. That definitely would be my top 5. Yeah. In that order, I'm not sure, but how it was. And then Zeophos, 6, just like almost like Brad Sweet, but just was never really. He won a heat, I think, on the last night, but maybe just a little bit behind the 8 ball. Jock Goodger, 7th, and he rectified it on the last night, but
and he was in Struggle Street hard on the first night. Didn't even come out of the B, which, I mean, we run a little tipping comp on Facebook with a few of us, and I actually had him tip to win just because of how dominant he was here last year with the Barbagallo race, and I thought, they would come here in that form again. But that opening night, he was in Struggle Street.
Yeah, I did think, I was like, hey, he's not up to it, he's not doing good. But then I started thinking, like, I'm not sure if you listened, I spoke about like the statistics of being off on qualifying, like in 7 metres between 2nd and 17th. And I'm like, well, how far is he off? Like, it could be anything. Like, he might not, I don't think he had the cold or anything like that. There's tiny little things. And then that's magnified with this class of field. That was just like I don't want to say like a regular night, those statistics, but obviously the field is so much better. Like, it's so much more strong. Like that if you're just that same amount off, now you're fucked, and then you're 25th. Like,
or just even where you are on the track, sort of. When you look at probably his lap compared to Cole Macedo's lap who went quick time, he was like in the fence, like millimeters away from riding it off, and went quick time where Jock probably wasn't as in the fence as much as him, and that's the difference from pole to back where Jock qualified. Yeah,
then your confidence will be shot. Like, I'm sure he was confident coming in because of how good he's been on the track, but like, if your confidence takes a knock and then you're racing Larson and McFadden, like, you're like, oh, fuck, now, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, you can't claw your way back and get him. Like, so, But he actually, I thought he did pretty good to work his way back from that. To end up 7th. Like, he beat Cole Macedo, who looked phenomenal the whole weekend, and he ends up 8th in the feature. Great night for him. Trent Pigden in the Bella Modular, 7. Solid all weekend. Had really good results. Seems like I feel like he was better than 8th, but
he actually went. I don't really watched. I've never really seen too much of Cole race because I think he sort of lived in the shadow of his brother most of his racing career. But he definitely went a lot better than I thought he would have. He's new team and new track and all that to coming over. I think he done pretty good.
Yeah. He's because I don't think he obviously. I think he's on a tour this year, but like he is like a pick and choose.
Yeah.
So he's sort of like all over the shop and does different races. I think in the Tarleton car that obviously McFadden's going to jump in now, but picks and chooses and he was good. And one thing that was like between obviously Kyle and JPM and Cole in that, like, they're just mind blown about how good the equipment is over here and like from these teams, like. Because our teams are phenomenal. Like, the stuff that these guys roll into the pits with is obviously, like, you listen to, as good as it can get. So, he's a good Matt Eagle, quite achiever all weekend. He's really good. And, 9th, again, like, it sounds like, it's 9th, but, like, that's a good result.
Yeah, I think they might have even been disappointed with that. I think they started a bit further up and went backwards a bit, and they ran 3rd the night before that, and so they're probably banking on, building off that. But, top 10 in that race is, I don't even know what the prize was for top 10, but they probably still would have took home a decent paycheck over the weekend.
Ryan Newton in 10th. Fuck, he sends it. Like, he genuinely, like, I was watching him a little bit just because I was lucky enough to be up in the Monty Motorsports like Robinson Link Chassis box, and he obviously drove for them, and they were fully cheering him. So I did pay a little bit more attention, and yeah, he don't die wondering, eh? He absolutely sends it.
Yeah, he gets after it.
Kerry Madsen in the Diamond Bay in 11th. For him, it was a bad weekend by his standards.
Yeah,
like,
and that team as well. I
yeah.
mean, remember when they used to have Corey Larson in that car a few years ago?
Yep.
I think they won
back-to-back
speed weeks and were winning just about every night. And then when James was in it, they were winning. And just the last probably year or so, that team's just been off from where they really should be.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad result, but I know they would be expecting to podium.
Yeah, to
and
win
so,
it.
10th, and 11th on the final night, which is probably their best result for the weekend.
Yeah,
they would be underwhelmed by that, and looking to make amends tonight down in the hometown of Bunbury. Luke Oldfield in the Pete Motorsports, he was decent all weekend. How's it? AP is Andrew Pirolo in 13th. That's the third best WA car.
Yeah, right.
I think he was third best at all nights. But so WA, I guess you could maybe include James McFadden now.
Yeah.
So AP's fourth, but yeah, Callum Williams in third, Kingshot in fifth, and then AP in 13th.
Yeah, well, you take out all them cars, say if that's a normal Maddington Toyota round, he's running third, which they'll be more than happy with.
Yeah, and he just doesn't get off to the best start. I know they're a professional team, they'll be working on it, but the results that he got from how far he started back is good. If he's anywhere, if he can get 2 or 3 rows ahead, he's banging down the door for a really good result.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, like you spoke about before, how good the equipment is over here, they're no different. They've got the best you can get. So, they probably set themselves some pretty high standards as well too, finish at the front.
Yeah, Chris Coyle had a dog of a weekend. So I was stoked for him to end it, even then, 14th. It's not what he would have signed up for at the start of the week, but I bet you after night 2, if you told him last night you're going to make the feature and come 14th, he would have been stoked. But yeah, dog of a first couple of nights for him, unfortunately. But he was good in the B main. He got a provisional to get in.
Yeah,
but he was right there anyway, and yeah, he used the promoter's provisional. But yeah, to send it from 26th to 14th, he'll be there. T Millie, the fast worm Taylor Milling, 15th. Just he was decent all weekend, and he just had heaps of bad luck. Yeah, he's a golfer, so I was watching him a bit closer because we stick together, us bandits. But yeah, he just had he caught Dane, and then one of my notes here is just if you want to know how cutthroat it is, effectively, what sort of fucked his whole weekend was the heat race on the last night.
Yeah, he got
started off the front
and spat out.
Yeah, just missed the jump and got swallowed up.
Yeah,
and then so I think when I looked at it, the difference, if he had just stayed beaten or stayed with Dane on that race, he starts 11th, but he started 21st. Let me check.
I think he ended up coming through the B, did he?
Yeah. So, yeah, instead of starting 11th, if he comes second in that heat race, he just, milliseconds on the gas a little bit early, maybe he spun the tyres up too much or I'm not sure. But, yeah, just got swallowed up in that corner. So he started 21st instead of 11th.
Yeah,
that's just
shows how cutthroat sprint car racing is, I guess. 3
full nights of racing in a decent spot the whole time, and then just happens to miss one heat race start, and bang, he's 21st. That's crazy, eh? Gio Selzy, underwhelming for his standards.
Yeah, I sort of tipped them to be a lot higher than they were. I don't know if it was a confidence thing from Boxing Day when the steering wheel come off and they hung it out the fence, or I don't know, that new team, they don't really race sprint cars too often, the Golding team, so I don't know if they're all sort of finding their feet, but Gio is one of the best on the World of Outlaws circuit, so I would have tipped him to be easily a top 10 car at the very least.
Yeah, I was watching him in the races and stuff. Obviously Dan Golding has as good equipment as anyone else, and Liam Spitzer knows what he's doing as well. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know anything, but he didn't ever look like he was racing hard. He never was diving underneath someone. It seemed to be other people diving underneath him. So Yeah, I'm sure they wanted a better result, and they'll be in the shed trying to figure that out. Is he here for full speed week, do you know?
I think he is, yeah. I'm
Yep.
fairly sure they're
Yep.
racing tonight.
Yeah, so those boys will be cracking back in tonight. And Matt Jewell, never heard of him prior to this weekend, and finishes in 17th. Brought his own equipment over and did all that. And from the little bits and pieces that I did hear, just sounded like his equipment, he didn't think like this track was so different to anything he's ever raced, and it sort of just didn't marry up. And a new night, but yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, decent. He was actually okay all weekend. And then young Jacko, mate, Jack Williamson, 18th. Mate, what a weekend for him.
Yeah, they would definitely, I reckon they'd be holding their heads high. They've batted above their average, I think, and he didn't have to go through a B main at all the weekend, qualified to the A every night.
Yep.
And I remember seeing one of them heats, he was rolling off the front with Kyle Larson. I was thinking, fuck, Jacko's probably shitting himself here. Like, who would have thought he'd be rolling off a heat race next to Kyle Larson?
Yeah, so he's effectively the sixth WA fella.
Yeah.
And he would have been roughly that, like all weekend. And then, I'm not sure how many fellas would have made all three features.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think there's quite a few that didn't make any features.
Yeah, like the really good result. Young kid, like reasonably new team, like reasonably, I would assume he's the most inexperienced, like in that feature.
Yeah.
Like, and he's beat some good cars. Like, some good cars didn't even make it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was really good. He, stoked to see him qualify. He can qualify good. Heat races are fast. Like, when the track's fast, he's pretty decent anyway. Yeah. Justin Whittle, RBH Group car, sort of, just again, I'm not really familiar with him, with his USA stuff, and I'm not exactly sure how that deal would have come about. Ended up in 19th. Yeah, again, it probably would have been hoping for a little bit better. And Jason Kendrick in 20th had I guess it was almost like his whole year. Yeah. Like this weekend was just a snapshot of his whole year, really. Just, I'm just, not quite there, and not to his standards and to what we know he can drive like, because, he's sort of unbeatable there at some stage, and I'm sure they're scratching their heads and wondering what exactly is going on, mate. So
they'd have to be.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, obviously, him and Chris Coyle got the promoters provisional to get into the feature race. So so ended up 20th and technically didn't even qualify for the feature race anyway. Yeah, and then
I'm not a fan of that. I reckon if you didn't make it, you shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that concepts began. Maybe High Limit run that thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not
sure. But and then obviously a few DNFs like Ryan Lancaster. So Ryan was 5th in the B main, made it because Corey Lawson got DQ'd.
Yeah, that's shit.
Yeah, I'm not like, no offense, and I'm sure Ryan probably wishes it didn't happen because he junked a car in the end. But I would have thought that the promotion or promoters provisional probably should have went to the Monty Motorsports team with, like he won. I'm sure they're not overweight. I know he didn't go to scale, and I know that's a disqualification, but there's plenty going on. He got an interview for the B main, so that threw him off.
I'm sure it's probably the last thing. I'm fairly sure it was the B main, fireworks, and then the A main. So they're probably rushing to get back to the pits, make some adjustments, get ready for the A. Yeah. The last thing he's thinking about is rolling through the scales.
Trying to get back. Yeah. This is what we need to work on. This is where we weren't good. But, I just would have thought with what Monty Motorsports has done for the sport, what Luch Monty does for the series and the track, and, they got the American over, like it's the USA, like all that. I just would have thought, and I'm sure there's stuff going on behind the scenes in terms of shit like that. Maybe you can't put someone in who's been disqualified, but
I'm not sure.
But the promoter, if you can make a choice, first of all, he earned it. Yeah, he won the B main.
Exactly.
I would have thought, if anyone deserved to be put into it, it probably should have been him. A few other DNFs, Kate Manders, unlucky. I think he just did a diff or something. I seen he had all the fence wire wrapped around.
Oh, yeah, I did see that actually.
And then they looked like they were getting it ready, and then they've just racked it and pulled the 60 in.
You're right.
Yeah, unlucky for him. And at stages, he looked real fast, Caden.
Yeah, there was a couple of stages where he was into the top 5 or 6 and looked like he was going to go to the front, but I think they're another one that they would have made the feature every night, I'm pretty sure. So they still had a pretty consistent run.
Yep, Lancaster obviously, got jumped in there with Eliason getting DQ'd and had a pretty big one in the end, rode a rear and into the fence, and I don't think there's much left of that car. The Trevor Jolly Racing, Dan Harding 18.
Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
That thing is fucked.
Yeah, there's not much left of that.
No,
Like,
even the engine.
yeah.
I just like tore the rocker cover off it, and it looks like it's bent all the like squashed the valves and everything.
Yeah, big dump. He limped. Like, you don't. We have a lot of big crashes in Motorplex, and it's not usual. I seen Dane Kingshot got out after that dump crash on the second night, and he was limping. He couldn't really walk. He had to jump in the car, and then Dan Harding got out, and he was limping as well. It's not with how crazy some of these crashes are. Dude's just out. Like Ryan Lancaster, that was a huge crash.
Yeah,
he was out in 10 seconds. 10 seconds, he's already walking to the infield.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, but these boys were fully limping. So, yeah, you know, like if a minute ago you're racing in a 410 feature race and you're limping, you must be sore because, yeah you wouldn't realise it until like half an hour later. So, yeah, unfortunately for the Trevor Jolly Racing 18, another DNF with a junk car, which is a fair few this year for them. And hopefully their luck turns. And, yeah, because they've been decent and... yeah, hopefully that turns from Brad Mayolo in the 77. Fuck, they had a dog shit last couple of nights. Like Boxing Day, they junked the car with Jamie. Jamie ruined another one, I think. Seemed to get caught up in some other shit. Like, yeah, they would have had an unlucky and an expensive weekend. And yeah.
Jono would have been busy the last week.
Yeah. And not only, they would have been obviously busy in the shed fixing cars, but they also, like, not the results that would have wanted. Like, Brad's been really good this year.
Yeah.
Like, particularly in qualifying and stuff. So, yeah, to see him that far down in the field and that, like, it must be pretty disappointing for them and they would expect better for themselves. But, yeah, they're the DNFs. That was the feature race. They're the people that they didn't quite make it. And we'll go through the rest, I guess. Everyone put in a solid 3 nights. So, the first, AJ Nash, won that B main on the bottom, like he was moving on night 2. But other than that, not too many sort of decent results. I think he moved forward in the feature race actually on the second night as well. I'll just have a quick look from the B main. What did he finish? 16th. So yeah, he would have got through 8 cars. So yeah, around the bottom on that B main on night 2 and actually looked really fast and passed everyone else. Solid. Sorry. And then the big bulge, Myles Bolger, just turning his laps like he's not expecting to make any mains.
Did you see them photos of Kyle Larson sitting in his
Yeah.
car? Far out.
Mate, looked like a kid.
Yeah, literally, you could fit inside where the ribs go.
Yeah. There's a bit of both because the bulge is a big unit.
Yeah, he's
and
massive.
Kyle's tiny.
Yeah.
Like I think he was something like just under 60 kilos.
Yeah, I don't think many people really would have realised how small he actually is till they seen him here.
And he reckons he just eats cheeseburgers.
You're right. He obviously doesn't go to anywhere on him.
No, he could have raced Ascot during the day and then come to the Motorplex at night.
Probably would have won on that too.
Yeah. Probably he would win on a wheelie bin, that bloke. Yeah, George Eaton, had a big crash. Unlucky again. Just wouldn't have been expecting to make that A mains, but I would have probably expected a better weekend. Corey Eliason, we spoke about it. Then I think they had some mechanical issues that they weren't aware of that they sort of figured out on the second night. And then on the last night, Corey did actually look pretty decent. Like I know he had to come through the B main still, but he looked better than the first 2 nights and they'll be looking to turn that around.
Yeah, the last 2 nights he probably started to look pretty racy and I think if they can build off that, they'll probably go all right at Bunbury tonight, I reckon. I think it'll probably sort of suit him a track like that. Yeah,
Michael Keane, he looked fast every night. Like he was throwing sliders, like he was fighting for spots. He was diving in on the bottom. Some of those races, he looked really good. And I was almost like surprised he didn't make the feature on the last night. He's really good. Ting King, what a second night he had, eh? He'd be fucking stoked.
Yeah, he would have been happy to pack up after that, I reckon, to be able to win a heat, make the dash, spin the wheel.
Yeah.
He'd be stoked.
Yeah. Because I think he was 4th in qualifying.
Yeah.
Like, and I was on the infield for that night. He genuinely, like, he obviously time fast, but like that car wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Like it was a good lap. You can't really fluke that. They just obviously got the setup right, got the driving right, and he did that. And then, like I was probably expecting someone to come past him on that heat race,
Yeah.
and
He just took off.
yep, he was good. He was very good. So well done to him, and yeah, it would have been a bit of a buzz to spin that, like, and then go as well as he did, mate. Good on him. JD Dack again, probably underwhelming, and yeah, he'd be expecting to be better. Joel Ettridge, yeah, unlucky again, had another crash, and his confidence would have been rocked, but yeah, saddled up every night, turned back up, like the crew's going hard. We spoke to him, and he explains a little bit. He had Casey Bradford helping him, which, yeah, it's been a massive help for him, he reckons, and just with the confidence of knowing, like, what Casey can do in the car, and when Casey tells him, mate, you're just not here, and then he knows, you know, what to do in the next race. Brooke Newson, yeah, she was, seemed to be she was off the rear every night. Matt Cross, and then, yeah, last of all, Jamie Marlowe just dumped another car, mate. Jamie wouldn't have been stoked with that.
No, you could see how pissed off he was on Boxing Day after that crash.
Yeah.
So.
He seems pretty pissed off all the time. Like, I walk around with a mic, and sometimes I just look at him, and I'm like, nah, not tonight. I'm not sure if that night's ever going to come. He just always just looks pretty intense, and, yeah, he looks like he's there for business, and I don't want to interrupt that. With all that, the one of the thoughts that I have, all I do is sit in a truck afterwards and sort of just think about what I can what I can talk about on here, and what I actually do think of the night. So, like, I don't just go there and watch and leave. Like, one of the things that I was stoked with at the end is the value now that we probably all knew was in it, but the Maddington Toyota Series, like, it shows that if you do stay here and cut your teeth in our local series like that, that standard stacks up.
Yeah.
Like, so how Callum and Dane, how good they were, like, they showed they're world class. Like, they don't just keep up. Like, you know, like Dane was coming in to slide, and almost like Brad was in his way a little bit on a couple of those nights, and he just couldn't get him. Like, he was the faster car, and, you know, Brad's sweet just had track position, and is obviously a very, very good driver. And but yeah, it shows, like, if Dane and Callum come 9th and 10th, like, it just when you rock up in 3 weeks' time to a normal night, you're like, oh yeah, but these aren't, like, you know, as good as gets. But now when we turn up, it's going to be like, nah, fuck, like, if these dudes are winning, that's because they're fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes can beat anyone. Like, so that's what I was stoked with, that. Yeah, you can stay here, and if you can beat those two dudes with the teams, with, you know, like Matty Cochran sets up the Cricket Motorsports, and Balls Moller sets up Williamson Motorsports, like, their cars are good, their cars are world class, their equipment's world class, and the drivers are world class. So if you beat them, you sort of can, like, know where you stack up in racing worldwide.
Yeah, well, I think same with, like, Calman like that. I think they were, to a degree, disappointed with how they ended up after starting on pole. When I was speaking to Boards, he said at the end of the night, we're probably a third place car. But I think prior to that restart, Callum was actually catching James and had a crack at him at one stage. And then I think that restart sort of shot his momentum. And then the choose cone come out. And I think the first one he went to the top and got a good start again. Then he went to pole the next one and sort of lost a bit of momentum there. And I think a lot of people look like they didn't actually understand how the choose cone worked. Like, some guys moved up 3 rows, some guys went back 3 rows.
Yeah, even me, I was wondering if that was like a mistake by Callum, because he didn't know how that worked, because he was effectively second, and then because he chose up there, he went back to 4th.
Yeah, but he actually got a good start.
Yeah,
off that
he
one
did
and
launch,
stayed second, and then the next one he went to pole and then didn't get such a good start.
Yeah, it's weird how that works, and I'm not a fan of that double file restart, like, because you can do all that work. Like, Callum was second, and he was like, I want to run high, and then all of a sudden he's in 4th. Like, but yeah, he did launch off that start. Hey, cut down in front, he was good.
Because the late models do the double file stuff, but the pole car is on the front row by himself.
Yeah.
I think they should probably do something like that. So if Callum did choose the outside, he's only staying second.
Yeah.
Back to 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, it seems weird. Oh, that's the other thing I did. Look, with Ryan Lancaster, he in that B main on that last night, he was in a position to transfer, and he just held it on one of the restarts and passed someone for the cone.
Yeah, Matt Jewell, I think.
Yeah, then he got shuffled back too, and he was in the transfer, and he'll look back in that and learn from that, and then probably won't do that again. But otherwise he would have just transferred anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, that double file, I'll stay out of that one. Give me back single file. And it adds a bit more excitement because they're all, it's just better, I reckon, for me. And then, how aggressive the drivers are. Like, you would have seen in that feature race when Kyle and James were battling, once Kyle got to him, like, they were both going to the bottom and neither of them gave up, but left each other room.
Yeah, the same again. That just shows how good they are. I mean, goes a few of the carts towards the back, tried that to the bottom. They probably both would have ended up shit mixed, but they just somehow both seem to leave each other the right amount of room and come out the corner and get to do it straight into the next corner.
And room, when we like say leave room, like we're talking 20 centimeters, like they're fighting tooth and nail for that spot. And maybe we're with the stuff we're watching, it's used to like someone gives that up a little bit, but like J-Mac's thinking, I'm fucking James McFadden. Like, no one drives around me. Yeah. And then Larson's thinking, I'm Carl Larson. Like, you're not staying on the inside. And they just fought so hard for those spots. And it was throughout all 3 nights, seen it in heat races and all that. Like, they just don't give it up. They stay clean. Both of them stay in the race. It's such awesome racing to watch.
Yeah, and they both know when to pull out or to drive around a slide job or brake and dive back underneath, which sometimes you see guys think they can drive around it and end up in a big shit mixer. But, yeah, that just shows why those two are world class.
Yeah, and like I spoke with Jason Pryde. I've recorded. We'll play it in a second. But after it turned off, like he spoke to me about how Kyle searches the whole track before he makes a pass. So he already has all the lines in his brain, like because we've spoke about it, he can search all these lines and somehow still keep up. Yeah. And then he's like, not there. Oh, not there. So then when he does go for these passes on J-Mac, like he knows. Yeah. Like, because J-Mac can searches as well, but he's sort of the leader and he's not knowing what everyone else can do and he can't gauge his speed off of anything. But they're chasing him. They're like, yep, that one worked. That one worked. Yeah. Yeah, and then Kyle sort of has all that stuff figured out in his head. And then so when he goes to make a pass, he just knows what to do.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah, that dash on, I think it was the second night.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was unreal.
Yeah, that was a good race.
Yeah, very, very good race. I think the Maddington put it up and the high limits, it put it up as well. It's had heaps of views and rightfully so because, it's such an awesome race with all the big dogs as well. Like everyone sort of who should have performed did on that last night. And mate, I was amped for that feature race. Like I was amped for it. So I'm glad it went the way it did. And fuck, I love Speedway. And then I do have to give a shout out to the Robinson family. So they were good enough to give me tickets to the Lynx Chassis like corporate box, and that's a wicked experience up there. You're out of the dust, it's aircon, and then you can actually listen to the commentary as well. Yeah. And you can just pick up like a little bits and pieces, like because in the crowd sometimes you're like, oh, what happened there? But when you listen to the commentary, you can just get a little bit more of like a holistic view on what's happened because you obviously get filled in by the commentators. But so
how good are the American commentators? I think it's Chase Rodman introduces the drivers, like pretty much lists off all their sponsors. Yep. Everyone gets a wrap. Yep. Like, unreal. Yeah, I think with how Kyle and J-Mac drove the track, I think that changes a little bit how everyone goes about their races. And I think the Flow Racing product that they brought, I think that probably changes the way that our broadcast goes about it, and they'll definitely make changes going forward, and they'll adopt a lot of things that Flow Racing and the high limit guys brought to it. Like, they engage the crowd. Like, the crowd's already amped up. I don't really feel like you need to try and pump them up. Yeah. Like, you just sort of wedge off of that and just go a little bit off it. And, they did a wicked job. And that's the other thing when I was in the corporate box there in that Lynx Chassis corporate box, the wheel spin, not that great live, but when you watch the coverage, it was actually really funny, engaging, just listening to like the little stories and stuff. On the broadcast, it's actually a pretty good product to watch. And I did have people mention me and text me and message into the thing and say how good the actual like event was to watch on TV. Yeah. Especially I noticed when the fireworks and that I'm watching up on the big screen and they're flying around with the drone filming it, and it just looked like professional, as if they would at some. It almost looked like it was at Knoxville or something, the way it was getting broadcasted, yeah.
And what
Sure, they
about even
done well
like
out of it.
the sunset?
Yeah.
You said it's on the second night that sunset. I was like, if there's people in America watching, they're booking a fucking ticket. That looked so good.
Yeah.
Wicked. And being in that box, sort of knew people like love Speedway, right? But the thing that blew my mind, Tom Payette was in there, mate. He's like a 12-year-old.
He's the worst person to watch Speedo with.
Like, I was trying to watch it, so I'm watching, say I'm watching Kyle Larson. Then he's watching something else, and then he was like yelling out, "Oh, look at that!" And then I'd look, but it's too late. And then something would happen where I was watching, and then he'd be like, "Oh, look at this!" And I'd look back, and I actually thought it was cool though. Like, unashamedly, he's just like, I fucking love Speedway.
Yeah.
Like, he was so excited, and yeah, he's like a big dog of the sport, and he was like a kid on Christmas, mate. It was like Christmas was 3 days late.
He's a super fan.
Yeah, he was. Hey, it was wicked to watch, and just little bits and pieces, like to hear how he was amazed at some of the lines they were running, and I'm like, well, he runs different lines to people, so like, yeah, and he was like, how Tom actually said once or 5 times, how crazy is it we're watching Kyle Larson at the Motorplex?
He would have probably said it 10 times.
Yeah, a few times, but every time it rung true. Yeah, so it was wicked to see how passionate he was. But the other thing I took out of it was they share or I'm not sure how it works, but the Monty Motorsports like partners and stuff in that way in there, and fuck, they know their shit. Like it was, I'm not sure if it was Lucha's partner or whatever, but who they were. But they know who the drivers, they know the crew chiefs, they know, and they were for like Corey Elias particularly. They were like, if I felt like I was in like the family box of the West Coast Eagles watching a game. It was like that. Their passion, they knew that, and what I liked, they were up for Ryan Newton as well. He obviously drew from, and then other people that they know, like they want these people to do good. Hey, it was awesome to see.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've been in the box a couple of times, but it's mainly to watch a feature race. Never sat in there a full night, so yeah, it'd be definitely a different perspective.
Yeah, they are so nervous and like. They're like, come on, Corey. Like before the race, they're like, there's like 5 people like, come on, Corey, come on, do this, come on, like, and they're like jittery and fully nervous. And I guess, yeah, it'd be different. I don't actually know anyone like personally that is in that race. Like I've met them, but like I'm not as invested in them as what they are. Because the other thing, it's like you can crash, like you can hurt yourself out there. So there's like that nerves in there and. Yeah, you'd sort of know in a race, like off a start in the first corner, you can see the room and it's not as hectic. But when you watch it from afar, you're like, fuck, they're so close. Like, but you're in control when you're driving, so it's not as hectic. But yeah, to watch family members or really close friends in a 410 feature race doing 140, like it's the first time I've sort of seen like what impact that can have on family and friends. Yeah, pretty crazy. But yeah, so. Yeah, thanks to Robbo for sorting me out with tickets, mate. It was an awesome experience for me, particularly on the nights that we've had. I loved it. I was up there, and the show was in there, mate. He was in there sooking a few nights, knocking back some beers, and yeah, it was a really good crew in there, and had a heap of fun, and yeah, well, everyone was just bench racing. Mate, we got to get into the final segments here. This one's the Ironwood projects. I'm just looking for their read. I think I've got it in the next little thing. But, Ironwood projects. They're actually chasing a heap of workers. Toby and Estelle there, the guys, really good couple and friends of mine who obviously help out the show. And they're looking for a fair few workers. So if you're a chippy or a labourer that's looking for anyone, any work up in the Pilbara, Toby's got a few big contracts that he needs to get some workers for. I think he's chasing about 16 people. So jump on their Facebook or their Instagram, Ironwood Projects. If you're looking for any work up in the Pilbara, hit him up. And he's got the best rates in the Pilbara. He's obviously a really good bloke and a good boss, and they've got a really good crew. Like they're all mates and stuff with the crew. And yeah, if you're looking for any work, jump up and up the Pilbara, make some coin. Here's their read. Ironwood Projects. If you are looking for reliable carpentry services in the Karratha and in the Pilbara, look no further. Ironwood Projects is locally owned and operated. Toby and his team specialise in all aspects of commercial and residential buildings. contact them today. Mate, so we're into the Ironwood Projects Raise Your Glass. Effectively, this sort of segment is what it could mean anything, I guess, but how I sort of look at it is someone who, batted above the average, done a bit better than what they usually did, driven out their skin, cracked in. So I think we'll probably be pretty similar because the overwhelming feeling over the couple of nights, pretty much the same. But I think I've got to go with Jack Williamson. Yeah. So I couldn't care for the same, mate. That's for me, mate. To be that young, obviously it was a Boxing Day. He put the thing off pole.
Yeah.
Like he's in some good form, and then I think to back it up with three, like transferring to 3 feature races straight away, I think, it's Boxing Day wasn't a fluke. Like it's not common, but it wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, for him and his team, I see Matty Iwanow's on the car as well. Like they're all chipping in, and they're a budget team to some extent. There's no transport or anything like that. It's just they got a trailer, and they probably take the wing off to put it in, and to do as well as he did over the weekend with this sort of field, I just think, raise the glass up to Jack. I think he would have raised a few glasses the other night anyway. I've seen some photos of him pretty late. So, I guess, talk about the pressures that you think he would have faced and how well he did achieve.
Yeah, well, I reckon they'd be more than happy to make it the feature every night as well as putting off pole Boxing Day. I mean, they're probably still on a high from that. With the quality of field they had, and they didn't have to go through a B main at all. I think he was probably almost top 5 at least every heat race, even higher. But they bring home a straight car, which is even better. So they'll be stoked. Yeah,
no incidents, clean, and then he will learn so much from that. Like these are the almost like the things you need to tick off to go to that next level, and he'll gain a heap of confidence, and hopefully he continues in that. And then this one, mate, the next one, the pump up, the MATLAB Co pump up. Obviously yourself, I've seen heaps of stuff. You did heaps of stuff over the last couple of days with some teams. I've seen you looking like a pack mule with some mats and stuff like that. You had one thing, it looked like you were going to carpet someone's house.
Yeah, there's a few getting out there now. I had a guy going around on the 28th doing some video and photography stuff. So he's put a little edit together for me, which I'll get out in the socials and share the hell out of it to get a bit more mats out there. But it's going really good at the moment. Yeah,
awesome. I'll jump behind that and throw it on, mate. Listen to the MATLAB rig. MATLAB, where creativity meets functionality. MATLAB specialise in crafting custom mats tailored to your unique style and needs. Jump on Instagram to see their work for the likes of Cricky Motorsports, Williamson Motorsports, and many others in the pits. Have a look at their stuff and see what they can do for you. Yeah, that's how you work a mic, idiot. So my pump up, just going through it, I'm going to go with Jamie Marlowe. He's had some pretty bad luck, not been in positions that he should have been, and I guess when you're not as good in qualifying and stuff as what he probably normally is, you're at the back of the field and you open yourself up to being involved in these incidents. But two junk cars, 2 incidents that weren't his fault. Something's happened in front of him, and he's like that first one there where he's collected Etteridge. That was actually a fucking big dump. that was a huge crash, and he's pretty angry. I don't know who took the video of it, but you can hear him give Joel a bit of a spray, and I'd be angry if that was me too. So but Joel didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can understand both sides of it. Like Joel's probably thinking, "Oh fuck, look at this guy's going mad," and then if you're Jamie, you're like, "Fuck, look at this guy's just made me crash." Then had another obviously incident on the last night there, and had to pull it in, and that was his weekend done. And bit of bad luck with stuff happening in front of him, and my pump ups for Jamie Marlowe. John Cole put that thing back together, no doubt, and they'll be down at the home track tonight, ready to rip. And hopefully he can turn it around because him and Brad have been decent this year, and probably a little bit off where they usually are. Who have you got?
I'm gonna have to go Corey Eliason. He drives sprint cars for a living. He's probably not expecting to come over here and have to race his way through a B main. I mean, he's driving for Monty Motorsport to celebrating their 25th year, and they're probably one of the best teams in the country that would set themselves some pretty high standards to be at least top 5 every night. So I'm sure they're going to turn it around. They had a bit of pace the last 2 nights compared to the Boxing Day and the first night, but I'm probably tipping them to go pretty well down at Bunbury tonight.
Yeah, I was just thinking that top 5, like that's what they would expect. But yeah, this could be the strongest like top 5 we've ever had, mate.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Larson, like would Monty Motorsports expect to beat him? I don't think so.
Yeah,
James McFadden, like probably not. Like because James is their best driver they've had.
yeah.
You know, like, and I don't think head to head Corey isn't like quite at James's level. I don't think.
No.
Callum Williamson in 3rd. You know, him and Dane in 5th, like equality, and then Brad Sweet. So, like, if you expect to be a top 5 team, which Monty Motorsports probably should expect to be with how it is, but like, fuck, that's as good a top 5 as you get.
Yeah.
Two of the best 3. You know, maybe J-Mac. Yeah, I'm not sure, like, on the worldwide scale, but like, you could argue he could be in the top 5.
Yeah, or for tonight, for instance, if you take out Kyle, that top 4 is all there again. So it doesn't get any easier, even though Kyle's not here. The competition's tough the whole way through Speedweek.
Yeah, so if you can argue that McFadden is a top 5 driver in the world, which I think you could make that argument, well, on the high limit, we had 3 of the top 5 drivers in the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to reiterate that, Monty Motorsports would be expecting to be top 5, but fuck, it's some top 5. And then the standout performer of the weekend, I think will probably be pretty similar with this as well. This is the TPE Group standout performer. TPE Group, proud sponsors of many Western Australian race cars, local speedway and sporting clubs, and all-round motorsports enthusiasts. Yeah, so this one, it probably sounds like it's going to be... of course you say that, but this is the TPE Group stand-up performers, almost the person that you expect to do good, so then when they do good, you know, you're not that amazed by it, but I like to actually acknowledge it, you know, and tonight I'll go with James McFadden, you know, like it's, the point of this, sometimes I feel like, particularly like footy players, like, you know, when someone has 40 for the weekend, they don't get best because that's what they do every weekend. Yeah. And then some dude who usually gets 15 has 30, and they're like, oh, how good was he? But, you know, your best player's got 40. Yeah. Yeah, so for me, that's what I try and keep this one in. And I'll do J-Mac, like, yeah, because what a weekend. Like, I don't think he fucked anything up. Like, maybe did they qualify not great on night 1? Nah, I think he was good every single night. But he did not seem to make any mistakes.
Yeah, like, probably Boxing Day was the only night where they probably weren't where they probably should have been.
Yep. Yeah, and over the high limit though, yeah. And I don't think he made any mistakes on the last night. I just think Kyle was better. Yeah. Like, which would be hard to swallow. Like, you'd want to say it would have gone away, but I think there was a restart with 6 to go, and Kyle ended up winning by like 3 and a bit seconds. Yeah. Like, which looked like he was about 200 metres ahead like by the end. But yeah, regardless of that, J-Mac just how he drove that bottom. I actually think Kyle didn't run the bottom until he watched James do it. Yeah. You know, and that's when he worked on. I know the brakes and that on that first night he was saying it, but like it didn't really look like he was trying to. And James was running the bottom in heats, and then it just seemed to be that everyone followed suit after him. They seen that he could do it, and yeah, then they somewhat try to emulate it. But yeah, my standout performer for the whole weekend was James McFadden. How good he is with the fans, how relaxed he was, how well he speaks on the mic. Yeah, how much he gives back to the sport, and how proud like all the Aussies are to get around him, and probably that whole PCB team as a whole. Like, I know they had Kim Buswell and Dylan Buswell on the team, and like, fuck, that's a pretty good combination just there. Yeah, obviously, yeah, that team wants for nothing. That team's got as good equipment as you could get, and yeah, James, yeah, it would have been filthy, but yeah, he went 1-1-2. So really good weekend for them, and fuck, they're going to be hard to beat for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to be pretty hard to beat tonight, that's for sure. But it's pretty hard to go past Larson to what he did. I was over there at their car when he rocked up on the final night, and he literally opened the door in his car and he's got people hounding him for signatures and photos, and just the amount of tension. He's obviously used to it. He cops it everywhere he goes. But the amount of attention he was copping, as soon as he gets out of the race car, someone wants a photo and autograph, and for him to just play it off and do it all, and go out there and win. Then he would have been scanning that track in the feature, watching James doing what he wasn't, and I think he just reads the track so much better than anyone else. The way he was, like I said, no one was running the bottom like he was, and towards the end of the race, he was just pounding the top as well. Like he was running anywhere and fast.
Nothing he can't do, eh? What sort of car did he come in?
Tundra.
Oh.
I think Maddington Toyota supplied that.
Yeah, fair enough too. I love those things.
Yeah.
What are they, about 150, eh?
Oh, I wouldn't have a clue. But
I
they'd
love them.
They'd be well around that, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good. And I've heard people speak before about how you could tell the good drivers, they just drive in spots that you don't usually see them. And the only two that I noticed with, and it was like visibly noticeable, was Kyle and J-Mac. Like they were, even when on the first night, it's like it was on the top, but they're like a car length lower than other people. Yeah. Like there'd be 20 cars running the same line, and they're just like half a car length lower or higher, or they're just in a different spot every time.
Yeah, I was over at Pryde's track at the end of the night with Buddha, and Chanel was saying that she must have been watching with his manager Josh, and he said for like 10 laps in, yeah, he's going to win this. Just the way he was searching the track and moving forward, that's how well his manager knows him. I guess 10 laps in, just already saying, yeah, he's going to win.
Yeah, because he started sixth. Like he passed some good cars.
Yeah, and
quickly, and then like if you watch like the state title or nights 1 and 2, like J-Mac, you just think he's that good.
Yeah,
to drive around him and then win by 3 seconds, phenomenal.
Yeah, well, going back to that state, I remember I'll come up watching that sort of halfway through when James was running the bottom through that traffic and Callum was pounding the top, and I just automatically assumed that James was having a shit night and running the bottom, getting lapped. But I was like, no, he's smoking them.
Yeah, and this again, you just do not see it at the Plex, eh?
Yeah.
Like people can pass on the top and that slide and all that, but like, yeah, to run that bottom, like I actually have been trying to figure out in my head, like how they would be doing the footwork. Are they dabbing the brake? Are they like holding it on? Are they what combination of accelerator and brake are they actually using?
It's probably just a lot of car setup as well to have that balance to rotate the bottom that good.
Yeah, I think a shout out like to Cody Lawrence. We had him in here, and yeah, there would have been a fair bit of pressure to set up a car for Kyle Larson. It sounds like from other people when Kyle sort of Trevor, that fella that helps him out, he got there. He effectively didn't have to touch the car. Yeah, he measured everything, and how Cody and the JPM team had that thing set up. It sounds like, they were stoked with it right from the go. Like everything. The only problem that he had with the car the whole weekend was the brakes were too good.
Yeah, what a problem to have.
Yeah, make this thing a bit shitter, would you?
Yeah.
It's too good. Nah, wicked, mate. Yeah. Well, that sort of wraps us up. The last thing we need to knock off, and it's obviously going to tee off in about 2 hours. Is going to be the Bunbury meet, but this is the Knife Merchant Slice and Dice. Go get yourself a set of knives. Jump online. Bit late for Christmas presents, but you can do whatever you need to. Buy some knives, and Regan and Annie will get those things posted out to you tonight. The Knife Merchant, a cut above. Premium quality knives, including the world famous Victorinox. For fishing, camping, kitchen, butchering, and outdoor lifestyle knives, find them on Instagram and online at thenifemerchantaus.com. That's thenifemerchantaus.com. All right, mate. Just quickly, maybe even like sort of one word at once. The Knife Merchant Slice and Dice. So tonight, see the next round of the Speed Week down at the Bunbury Bull Ring there, mate. Who do you think bounces back tonight?
Oh, as I spoke about before, I reckon Corey Larson will be one to bounce back. They've had a shit-ass couple of days, really. But, they obviously can only really go up from here after the disappointment of the B main. So, yeah, I think they're going to be a top 5 car tonight.
You remember last year, or was it? I'm not sure, but Corey come flying in a full bicycle.
3 and 4.
Yeah, and just saved it, eh?
Yeah.
But,
Bunbury's obviously got, I think they've got a team coming in to do the track over the next few nights, so it's actually going to be pretty interesting to see how it races and how, if it gets rough, if it chews tyres, what it does. I think it's going to, like I spoke about before, determine if a lot of people in other divisions race on the 4th. Yeah,
definitely. That's what I'll be watching tonight, and based on how that looks, determines whether I go down the race.
Yeah.
I just don't want to take the risk. Like, it's obviously an expensive sport as it is, and I truly hope it's fine because I want to race.
Yeah, same.
But the only thing is the track was obviously dog shit when we turned up for that first thing, but they fixed that track in like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, why couldn't that have happened? So I'm assuming it's going to be fine because old mate, what's his name that's coming in?
I think it's Alan Barley.
Yeah, so that fella and a few of his team, like if they can get a couple of days at it, like they fixed it in an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm thinking if they get 2 days, look at it, like it'll be fine.
Yeah, it was just rough last time, but that's Bunbury.
Yeah, the bull ring, mate. That's what it is. So
also, apparently they've put dirt in over the last few days as well, which I don't know how true that is or not, but
yeah, right.
That'll be
more banking or just more dirt.
I think just more dirt because I think the dirt that's at the track's been there forever. I think it's getting pretty fine, which is probably right choose tyres. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how it does go tonight.
Yeah, my bounce back is going to be T Millie, the 25 totally workwear fast worm. I just think, yeah, again, I was sort of paying a little bit more attention to him just for the golf thing. I don't know why that resonates with me, but it does. But yeah, it just seemed like he could have started a lot further forward. He qualified 6th on the first night. Like he had plenty of car speed. He drove really well. And then he just fucked one startup. And then that's why he's back where he was. And so he ended up winning that B main. Probably should never have been in there. If he gets a better jump in that heat race, he's not in it. So yeah, he ended up 15th on the last night. I think he's going to bounce back, and if he's pushing towards that top 5 there, I think he'll be pretty stoked with that. And I think he could he's 4th to 7th. When he puts the night together, that's where I think he'll be at. So yeah, hopefully T Millie bounces back and drives the wheels off the big girl. The quick time tonight. Who you reckon's going to quick time?
Hard to go past Callum.
Yeah.
Quick time just about everybody night. And I think, was he quick time down there last show?
Probably.
Yeah. So
he was. He was. Because they had that random sort of qualifying thing.
There was qualifying that wasn't qualifying, that was hot laps.
No one really knew. And the cheeky dog, guy only got 1 lap in. I think it was like a 6-lap hot lap. He was getting held up by a slow car the whole time. And then obviously because Callum had a break, everyone, even Jason Pryde was right behind him. Like they all had to break because Callum couldn't get going, no one could get going. And then he only got 1 lap in and he still quick time. So yeah, who knows? But my quick time, I'll do Brad Sweet. Yeah, I think they'll obviously work in the car over the weekend. I think it'll be a little bit different with obviously the new track crew coming in, and he's raced there a couple of times before, but I think what'll play into it is that Brad has more experience on new tracks.
Yeah.
He might not have raced at that track more, but he's raced at more tracks. So I think, yeah, Brad Sweet, he'll he'd probably be fucking dirty as with a 4th. Your brother-in-law coming in, your business co-owner, he walks out with 100 large. Yeah. You're walking out with what, 10? Yeah. You'd be going, nah, not anymore. I'm sailing up and I'm going hard. On the front row tonight, who's gonna start in the front row and who wins?
I reckon it'd be Callum and Brad Sweet off the front row, and Dane will win.
Yeah, I think J-Mac and Dane start.
I forgot about J-Mac actually.
Yeah, so I think J-Mac off the front with Dane, because Dane was bullshit fast on that last night, and then just looked like he lost the car in the last 5 laps, and literally could not hang on to it. So it looked like a car, and then when the car came in, it was smoking. Yeah. And I was like, oh, maybe. Do you know what? When they race, what's that smoke that comes off?
I think it's just them breathing most of the time.
Okay.
Breathing oil, I think.
Yeah, okay. Because you see, every time I'm like, oh, but it happens all the time. But yeah, so that car was smoking, and I thought maybe it's a little bit of that, but after literally 5 minutes, it was still smoking.
Yeah, right.
So he lost and he was good. I spoke about it on that review show, but when they broke that lap record at the start of the year or whenever it was, the top speed of that qualifying on the fastest ever lap at the Motorsplex was still slower than what Dane did at Bunbury.
Yeah, right.
Dane was 3 kilometres an hour faster at Bunbury than the track record top speed at the Motorplex. So he was hauling, he was gone on those restarts. He was gone. So I think they have a setup for Bunbury. It's obviously his hometown. All his mates down there. Yeah, again, he was filthy. With his results, not like he expected to win, but he probably just knows he could have pinched another spot or two. So he'll be looking for redemption. yeah, obviously they're still racing for the series.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what, like, make no mistake that those boys are trying to win that series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think off the front row, I'm going to go J-Mac and DK too. And then from here, mate, obviously the championship it's without disrespecting anyone else, it's a 2-horse race in my mind. Can J-Mac win from here, you reckon, actually?
The
Or did he
championship,
miss too many?
I'd say he's missed too many. I think it's
I suppose if you
miss one round, you're
yeah,
fucked.
pretty much. Yeah.
Did
And
the gap close after Dane DNF the other night? Or?
nah, because I think with the high limit points, he was still not that far because Callum was 4th in points and Dane was 6th. I think is how it worked. Like overall in the high limits, and there wasn't that many points between him just in the high limit stuff.
Yeah, because did the prelims go towards Maddington Toyota feature race?
Yeah, I'm not
points?
sure.
Yeah, I dunno.
But Dane was good early, and mate, they couldn't get away from each other. Like, they were still starting next to each other. But yeah, so from for the North Merchants Lawson Diets, the last question of the night, mate. Who wins from here? Who's gonna be a tip to win the Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series? And Speed Week.
I reckon the Maddington Toyota Series is going to come down to the last feature of the last round.
Fuck, that'll be epic, eh?
And then I reckon Callum will get up just.
Yeah.
And then to win Speed Week, I'd say J-Max is probably going to win Speed Week.
Yeah, I think he's like got a fair launch pad.
Yeah.
Like with those, two, but then again, like Callum would only be behind him because he was 3rd on the first night, and then he DNF'd or just no good.
Really dropped back once it took rubber. I think he clipped the wall just before the rubber sort of come in and probably knocked the ladder out of it or something. And I don't know.
But still,
Just
that
really
points.
dropped
I don't think it's been updated online yet. But I think obviously J-Max will take out Speed Week because I just maybe think it's a little bit insurmountable, that points total that he already has, and then. Yeah, fuck. I'll go Dane. Dane's been I just think the luck because he was as fast as Callum, and I just think that wheel dogged him. Like on the first night, Callum spun 00s and Dane spun whatever he spun, like whatever it was last.
Yeah.
And it's just that was a little bit of a luck element. And I think without that, I think they were both off the front in the dash. That's how it should have lined up without the anomaly of the luck of the draw thing, but. Yeah, with how it worked, I think they would have been like off, and then then they start 1 and 2 in the feature. Yeah. Whereas then Dane in the best field that we've had, he's starting 6th.
Yeah,
like so. But yeah, I'll go Big Drift King, Donkey Kong, Dane Kingshot to win the championship, and J-Mac to win the series. And the best thing about it is that I actually don't really care who wins. I'd be stoked because like Matty Cochran and Dane are ripper lads, and they've been awesome to me. Like literally anything I've ever asked them, which sounds like not that much, mate, but like the first couple of nights I was walking around asking for people to do interviews, and people would like say no, and I could understand like the people that were left in the pits were either working on something was broken and had a shit night and were just angry. Like so, and I don't expect anyone to do anything, but. Yeah, I think there can be a little bit of a narrative like, everyone only speaks to like a certain couple of people, but those are the 2 dudes that say yes. Yeah. Those are the 2 dudes that don't look angry as, and they're happy to have a chat. So, yeah, I think people need to understand that not everyone actually wants to be interviewed all the time. Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't care. If any of them, Brodie and Callum, really nice blokes and seem to be having the time of their life. And have always been really good for me. And, we'll finish it up with hope if you're sticking around here, I probably should have played it earlier. My post-race interviews I thought were actually really interesting and insightful. I spoke to the Myles Bolger, Joel Ettridge, like two lads who are probably similar to us, like probably a little bit starstruck and, up against it, but like fair play, like knowing how the night was most likely going to play out for you, still going out there and still having a rip, mate. Like, a little bit of that man in the arena thing. There would have been 10,000 nuffies up on the hill fucking going, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. But like, get out there,
an expert.
go get a car and get out there and see how hard it truly was. So, yeah, thanks to them. Jason Pryde's going to be in here as well. His interview is really good. And then I spoke to Brodie Moller as well. So he was good enough to give me some time. I was a little bit late. My stuff's stuffed up. So they gave me time right before the night kicked off. So I appreciate it. Have a listen. And after this, we'll rack it. Thanks, guys. I'm here with the Tralee Motorsports 13, Myles Bolger. Myles, pretty hectic weekend, plenty going on. Has it actually been fun out there for you, or how's it been?
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's pretty brutal out there, not going to lie, and obviously we're still in our learning stages, so it's cool to be out there and see where the world's #1 drivers are racing, and try and get somewhere with confidence where our ability is to get near them and enjoy it, and and take as much out of it as we can, really. So it is a wicked experience, and we're really enjoying it. It's just like I said, it's so brutal out there, and when we're trying to get laps and competing with the world's best, it is just difficult, I guess. But every step of the way we're loving it and learning and having a good time.
Do you get a chance to, you're obviously racing with them, is it hard for you to get up onto the pit gate there and have a look and watch what they're doing? Yeah,
absolutely, because obviously we've been coming through the B anyway, and obviously we get up there to talk and watch the A main and study what they're doing and keep an eye on what they're doing and see how they're doing and how clean they are and how straight they are and how they're doing. And that's the dream, to be able to do that one day. So that's probably the coolest thing about it, is being a part of it, is actually getting up there and watching it and just studying what they're doing and really taking it on board and going, right, that's what we need to slowly adapt to what we're trying to do.
And then in those races, obviously it's so hectic in the races. There's so much going on. Are you able to learn your driving at those races, or is it just there's just too much going on? You're just sort of trying to get your laps done?
Oh, I guess because we're obviously coming from the rear. We're in a fortunate way like that, because we're coming from the rear. We can whoever's in front of us, we should try and copy them. Yep. Or someone who's at a reasonably good pace, and try and keep with them for the longest we can. Mm-hmm. So obviously we're making little mistakes. We're losing a couple of car lengths here and there. But every time we're going out there, we're managing to stay with them more and more and more. And that was always our goal. We're not here to win races. We're here to study, learn what they're doing, follow them, and then hopefully we can slowly adapt to what they're doing to what we're doing. So it is unreal, yeah.
So what's sort of par for the course tonight? What do you want to get out of tonight? Is it like a position, or is it just like a feeling that you want to have at the end of the night? What are you sort of trying to get out of tonight?
Oh, the big thing is just talking to crew boys, and it's just trying to keep the car as straight as we can. And that's the big thing. We're battling coming out of the corners a little bit, and that big goal is just to keep the car as straight as we can, keep the momentum rolling, and just trying to keep it straight. And I feel like if we can keep it straight, we can obviously pick up a bit more speed, and I think everything will come with that. So, it's just more and more on time in the seat, and hopefully we'll eventually get there.
Mate, it is ridiculous to watch how straight Kyle is, hey? Particularly last night, around that top, he's just dead straight. I just don't know how he's doing it.
No, it blows me away. You look at it and they make it. That's the hard thing about the sport. They make it look so easy. Yeah. And you go out there and try and do it, and how straight he has that. You can see why he's one of the world's best. Yeah. That is one of the hardest things you can do.
Yeah. No, thanks for that, mate. But and you would see from the A-Main, Speedway's the easiest sport in the world to watch. You be out there and you're like, oh, I know what he should do, but once you're behind the wheel, it's just a different game, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That's what sucked me into the sport. I sort of go, oh, let's do this. It doesn't look too bad, and I got it, and my head was spinning. Yeah. So, I think that's what gets us so addictive to the sport, is because you see people do it, you just want to do it. Yeah. So then you get last in here, and at the end of the day, having people like that here makes all us ones learning want to try harder to get there, and it's awesome for us. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, good luck tonight, mate. Appreciate it.
Too easy, mate. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm here with Jason Pryde, driver of the W14, but owner of the 1K. Mate, raging success. It's so far, from my point of view, these lines are as big as I've seen anywhere for anything Speedway related. You must be stoked with how it's turned out.
Yeah, it was obviously pretty stressful in the lead up to it, just wondering how it would all go, what's not enough to have, or what would be too much. But more important than anything was really focused on making sure Kyle was comfortable in our cars. He's a pretty big name to bring to WA, and really wanted to make it enjoyable for him, which, touch wood, so far so good. We seem to be doing that. The fan support's been just incredible. It's blowing our minds. We did our merch run thinking we'd have enough for 3 nights and then do some online sales, and everyone smoked it on night one. So they printed after night one through the night. Steve from Oval Track Diecast worked all through the night on night one. We had it for night 2. That lasted about 3 hours. I gave him an order last night, and he said that's more than double the night before. I said, yeah, mate, but I'm sorry, we're out and we need it. And he come through with the goods. He dropped it off about 2:30 this afternoon. So without him, the fans couldn't get what they want. So massive thanks to him. But obviously we've got a big race tonight that we really want to focus on winning.
Just with that, who sort of is the brainchild behind it all? Like, even the little things like the JPN tape that separates it and stuff like that, they're just little things that I've not seen before. Usually it's like at best, like the nightclub sort of gates and stuff. But just those little things have stepped it up a level. And you just said thanks before, but mate, thank you. Like the vibe and the feel around the pits from everyone. Like, I've got mates that have come from Karratha who have never watched a race before in their life, and they've come just because you guys have got Kyle down here, mate. So, yeah, appreciate what you're doing. And is it hard to watch the races from upstairs? Are you out on the track, or where are you watching them from?
Yeah, qualifying, been on infield. Watched the feature race just up on the track. We've got some good corporate partners that have jumped on board, Slam and Trybridge and Scruffy and the Harman Transportation guys. So I've actually been watching the racing with them, and just to thank them for their support, and it's pretty cool to see them get behind Kyle and the team as well. And yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of Kyle in America just getting mauled by fans, and it's really important that our crew can give them a safe race car, and that's fast, so they needed a bit of space. With the open pits here, we still want everyone to get close to the car, and I think whether you're half a metre back doesn't really make any difference, but it's actually, I think the fans have all respected that, and it's been really good. And we just want to present a professional race team that, Kyle's happy and proud to be a part of, and we've done that. I think running the Trans Am stuff, I learned a few of those tricks from what the supercar teams do, and I think it elevates the sport a bit as well. And Gavin's given us a prime location, so we want to try and do that justice as well, and hopefully everyone's happy. And yeah, it's been awesome for our brand, but also, the partners that have jumped on board, Slam and that too. It's been cool. So it's kind of, hopefully everyone's happy with it, and we'll go after it tonight.
Nah, it's what I was thinking when I was looking how busy it is. It must be a little bit of a juggle with all the stuff, the merchandise, and trying to actually sell it and sort of promote the sport and all that. But in reality, there's one thing he's here for, and it's to win races. And that, like the tape and little things like that, that's what it looks like. You guys are racing first and everything is second, but you haven't missed on either, so it's been awesome.
Yeah, and he's got his manager, JP, out here, and he's pretty thankful for what we've done for him. So, yeah, it's a cool thing, and we're just really excited. Like, it's a huge buzz, and just seeing all the fans around. And yeah, as much as I'd like to be racing myself, we could have done the 2-car thing, but the sprint cars, you've got to be committed and concentrate, and there's no way I could not be distracted if I was pitted next to all this, what's going on. And like, I care about everyone in our team, and I'd be more worried about making sure Kyle was comfortable, and my own racing would have sacrificed. So as much as it's hard to step out for 3 nights, it's probably the best thing we could have done. He's happy. We've got a super fast race car. He's a massive talent. I've never seen anything like it. And I'll jump back into Bunbury and back here on the 2nd.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, thanks again. Good luck tonight. Hope it all works out.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
I'm here with Joel Ettridge, the Polylink City Discount Size 76. Mate, trying a couple of nights, but last night you sort of pieced together a whole night. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, it was just really good just to get to the end of the B main and roll it back into the trailer straight. So that was a positive for me and the team for sure. We didn't have to fix too much today. So just trying to gain laps and get some experience in the thing. We went backwards a bit last night, but yeah, that's sort of to be expected on a pretty testing track.
What are you trying to get out of tonight? Like, obviously this will be chucked on a podcast midweek, and we'll be reviewing the results. What sort of result are you hoping that we're reviewing?
Well, the dream result would just be to make the feature, but that's going to be pretty challenging. So probably just move forward in the B main. I'll say, depending how I go in my heat, I'll probably be off the back somewhere. So if I can move forward a couple of spots and just get comfortable in the car on what I think is going to be a pretty slick track with the sun and the wind, that'll be a positive.
Are you able to learn out there much? Or, like, obviously you got really stacked fields, and there's so much going on, and like you're trying to get your laps in. Are you able to learn, or are you just reacting to what's going on around you?
Yeah, to be honest, at the moment I'm just learning to drive the car. Like, it's so hard to be trying to race people when you're trying to learn to drive the machine you're sitting in. So yeah, like you are learning. Like, a lot of it's subconsciously learning, but it's still all learning. I'm far from throwing a big slide bomb on someone at this stage, but that'll come in due course. So it's just sort of just piecing those races together and getting comfortable in the car and where to run and things like that. So definitely always learning. Yep.
If you could narrow down like one skill you want to work on, like whether it's like entering like in a certain way, exiting, doing something, what's one thing you want to learn to work on tonight?
It's probably a little bit of everything. It's just, I think last night my corner entries were all right. It was just more my exit. I was getting a bit taily. So that's probably more of a throttle thing, if anything. I got Casey Bradford helping me out in the last couple of nights, so he's been a huge help in just being able to tell me what I am and am doing well and what I'm not doing well. So just that honest feedback's been really good, and sort of showing me where I can be running and where I shouldn't be running. So yeah, just working on all those little things and taking all that into consideration. But yeah, just working on the whole lap as a whole, really. My qualifying hasn't been too bad. Still obviously a fair bit off, but yeah, it's when the track goes off and slick that I really need to be working on my craft for sure.
Sweet, mate. Thanks for your time. Good luck tonight. Yep. Let's see what you got.
Thanks heaps. Thank you.
I'm here with Balls, Brodie Moller, crew chief of the Williamson Motorsports, number 3. Birthday boy. Happy birthday.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
Locked in tonight, mate. 4th in points. Is it excitement? Is it nerves? Like, what's your overwhelming feeling like coming into probably the biggest show of your career, Callum's career, and probably Australian Speedway?
Not really sure at the moment, mate. I've felt a few emotions over this morning, but kind of excited for it now, and I'm kind of ready now. I was nervous when I first woke up, but I'm good now. I'm ready. It's good to be locked in. You know, it takes a lot of the pressure off and makes you feel a little bit more excited that you're in the hunt. I mean, 'cause I think it's going to be hard to pass these caliber of cars that we got. So you're going to have to start at the front, no doubt about that.
Do you just want to like get it going? I went out and watched qualifying last night, and I thought to myself, like, it's probably the first time you guys get to like breathe and just be together. Like, is that sort of when the night really starts for you, when you push out in the middle? It's just you and the boys, and you're just sitting in the middle, and you're starting to go racing. Is that like time to lock in for you?
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of weird. It's kind of as soon as the car starts and he comes in, I don't mean to, but I kind of get in a different frame of mind. I think, you know, it's just I don't know what it is. It's probably just me overthinking it. But as soon as the car starts, you kind of just get focused and yeah, hang out with the boys in the infield and just head down, bum up.
Mate, it's that feeling happens to the whole crowd, I reckon. I'm obviously up in the crowd most of the times, and it changes once the cars start up. Like, everyone knows it's go time, mate. So, yeah, wish you luck tonight. Hope it all goes well. I know you boys will have a decent crack, and hopefully talk to you at the end of the night.
Thanks, mate. I hope you come see me later.
Will do. See you, bud. This episode has been brought to you by the following businesses. If you're in the market for anything these sponsors can help you with, please use them. Let's get behind the people who support the sport. See you at the track. BKB Plumbing and Gas. For all your plumbing needs in the Pilbara, contact Brodie and his dedicated team. From domestic water softeners to large-scale commercial projects, BKB Plumbing and Gas, they've got you covered. RBS Project Solutions. RBS is based in the Pilbara and specialise in structural, mechanical and piping projects. RBS is bolstered by strong field supervision and leadership, ensuring successful execution of projects across the mining and oil and gas sectors. TPE Group, proud sponsors of many Western Australian race cars, local speedway and sporting clubs, and all-round motorsports enthusiasts. The Knife Merchant, a cut above. Premium quality knives including the world-famous Victorinox for fishing, camping, kitchen, butchering and outdoor lifestyle knives. Find them on Instagram and online at thenifemerchantaus.com. That's thenifemerchantaus.com. MatLab, where creativity meets functionality. MatLab specialise in crafting custom mats tailored to your unique style and needs. Jump on Instagram to see their work for the likes of Cricky Motorsports, Williamson Motorsports and many others in the pits. Have a look at their stuff and see what they can do for you. Ironwood Projects. If you are looking for reliable carpentry services in the Karratha and in the Pilbara, look no further. Ironwood Projects is locally owned and operated. Toby and his team specialise in all aspects of commercial and residential buildings. Contact them today. Upfield Designs. Based in Albany, Western Australia, they specialise in custom helmet painting that brings your unique vision to life. Whether you race speedway, go-karts, motocross or anything in between, Upfield Design has you covered. Check out their Instagram, Facebook and their website. Plus, you can win your very own helmet and custom paint job valued at $3,500. Every $25 spent on apparel is an entry. Visit upfielddesign.com.au for your chance to win. All work area listeners get 15% off all apparel. Use the discount code TheWorkArea at checkout to claim.